Hi, my name is Stacy Holcomb. I live in Lewisville, Texas, which is a suburb of Dallas. We've lived there for 16 years, and interestingly enough, it's about the time that I've been diagnosed with CVID. I had difficulty getting diagnosed previously where I lived in Illinois. I had worked for over 5 years trying to gather medical information from the moment of my birth up to the minute that I had information from my present doctor, and put it all in one place so that I had a doctor that could look at my entire life and tell me what was wrong. Why did I get sick so often? I worked for a company, accounting firm in downtown Chicago, international headquarters, and they were pressuring me because I was sick so often with sinus infections and extreme bronchitis and other different kinds of infections, that they were pushing me, not quite saying I was being looked at for absenteeism and they were looking to fire me, but because I hadn't used all my sick days, but they did write me up when I had used 8 of my 10 earned sick days, and I had earned them. But that was their idea of how to counsel their employees. The time running up to trying to be diagnosed, including spending 3 days at Mayo Clinic, going from doctor to doctor, going from doctor to blood draw center to doctor to blood draw center to a place to have radiology and nuclear imaging, and they still couldn't come up with anything better than possible chronic fatigue syndrome. And I knew that chronic fatigue syndrome did not account for why I got bronchitis several times each winter, or why I would get the flu every single winter, even though I would get a vaccination sometimes. After I moved, I had a doctor that I was very fortunate to meet in just outside of Dallas, and he became my primary care doctor. And this was right about the time that managed care was coming into play, and you had to declare a primary care doctor. He noticed that I had a sinus infection in December, and that while technically the white blood cell count went down, my symptoms didn't abate, and then the infection would come back. And he decided to pull me out of work and sent me to an ear, nose, throat specialist and said, "Here, we think you need to go to see this doctor that was recommended to us both by him and by friends of my fiance then, who's now my husband, that he knew was a good ear, nose, throat doctor." And he was very honest with me. He said I could do surgery, I could waste your time, I could waste your money, I could cause you a lot of pain and suffering and time off work and pain for healing, but I'm not going to. I'm going to be straight up honest with you. There's absolutely, positively nothing wrong from an ear, nose, throat specialist standpoint. So he sent me back to my primary care doctor. After that, my primary care doctor was thinking, okay, she's continually having infections and there's not a problem physically with the ear, nose, throat, sinuses area, which was where he was concerned about. So he said, it's a sinus infection, let's focus on the other part, which is infection. And he sent me to an infectious disease specialist. He sent me to see Dr. Lewis Sloan, who is in North Texas infectious diseases consultant. Less than 45 minutes later, He says, "I think I know what's wrong with you." And I'm bewildered because I've seen many doctors. In Illinois, I'd even gone for a bone marrow biopsy. And I said, "What could it possibly be?" And he said, "I think you have hypogammaglobulinemia." The IDF has been one of the most important parts of living with and accepting having something like CVID or subclass deficiency. It's been a really important part of my life in a lot of ways. Thanks a lot for the opportunity to tell you part of my story.